the Boeuf. Boeuf. Le Boeuf. Hey, it's Dylan with Oscillator, and today I'm going to show you how to make a future disco bass sound with Serum, and it's going to sound like this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Oscillator. I make tutorials about music production, mixing, sound design. If that's something you're interested in, you may want to consider subscribing to my channel. If not, I'm just glad you're here watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something here today. So I've been working on this new song, and the artist wanted like a future classic disco Donna Summer meets Kylie Minogue kind of sound, and it's coming together really nicely, but I found myself using like a ton of Oliver drum samples for this song. Shout out to the Oliver sample packs on Splice. They are ridiculous. Oliver. And so I thought, if I'm gonna use this many drum samples, I better sound design all my own synth sounds. So I wanted to come up with a bass sound especially that sounded fresh and modern, but also had that cool like classic synth ARP 2600 sound. This is what I came up with. I thought it sounded really cool, so I wanted to show you. I will also put a link in the description so you can download this Serum preset and use it in your own track. So head down to the description and download the preset. So here we have a brand new initialized preset in Serum. I've duplicated the track so we're utilizing the same MIDI as the original. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up the oscillators. So for oscillator A, we're going to go in and choose from the analog menu, the basic MG. This is like a nice triangle to sine blended wavetable. We're going to lower the octave by 1, but we're going to go down into the warp menu for oscillator A and we're going to turn on sync. Sync no window. What sync does is it multiplies the waveform, which adds harmonics to the sound. And then we're going to just increase this sync knob until we get the right sound that we like. I like something around there for now. We'll fine tune this later. It has like a nice growl to it. Now let's turn on oscillator B, and we're going to leave this on the sawtooth wave, but we're going to increase the fine tune a little bit. Maybe around 7 cents, like that. And let's also turn this down. Now we're getting a little bit of that detune between these oscillators, which gives us a nice electro sound. Next, let's go down to the voicing area, choose mono because this is a bass sound, so we want it to just be monophonic, meaning it only plays one note at a time. And now let's also shape the envelope. So we're going to go over and reduce the attack almost all the way, and we're going to reduce the decay and the sustain as well. Maybe increase the release just a little bit. Depending on how plucky you want this, you can shape the decay to your liking. Now let's also add in a sub oscillator. So just enable it up here. The sine wave sub is fine. Octave at 0 is fine as well, but let's turn it down a little bit. This just ensures that as we do this other sort of wackier sound design, we're not losing the fundamentals of the bass. Now finally, let's move on to the filter area. So let's turn on the filter, and we're going to choose the French low pass filter. This is under the miscellaneous tab. Now let's dial in this filter sound by adding envelope 1 to the cutoff parameter. It's on bipolar right now, so I need to go inside the matrix and choose just unipolar for this filter cutoff. And I want the entire range of the cutoff to be modulated by this envelope. That's why I drew it like that. So we're almost done with the sound design, but I wanted to jump in and ask you if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps other people discover my channel, and then they can learn how to make cool bass sounds too. Now we're getting close, but we need a little bit of this magic. So we're going to increase the drive and the Boeuf of this filter, which is going to give it a much more meaty and aggressive sound. Now it's sounding pretty cool, but I think I might want it to be even a little bit more plucky. So let's take this envelope 1 and let's apply it to a few more parameters. So let's put it on the level of this second oscillator, oscillator B, and reduce this a little bit so that it's just creating more of a pluck sound. Maybe even reduce the decay a little bit. And we can even put it on the level of the sub oscillator as well. Now I like where this is at right now, but we can do a little bit more tweaking if we want to as well. The cool thing about the sync knob is that the harmonics can be tuned to the key of your song. So if you increase or decrease this sync knob, you can hear the other harmonics coming in, which create like a harmony on the root note of whatever your MIDI is playing. So you can have a third harmony, a fifth harmony, or an octave. So let's listen and try to shape this into a different harmony. So right there we can hear the third harmony, which is pretty cool. Not what I want for this song, but just so you know you can do that. And then let's take it up a little bit more and find the fifth harmony as well. There's a nice fifth right there, which is 7 semitones up from the root. I liked it about where it was before, so let's take it back. We can also add the envelope to the wavetable position. That just gives it a little bit more bite and a little bit more grit, because now the wavetable position is moving on every MIDI note hit based on this envelope. You can see it moving there. And towards the end of the wavetable, it's even more sawtoothy. In the beginning, it's a little bit more siny. The more that you increase the modulation of this envelope on this parameter, the more gritty your sound will be. And of course, you can always go crazy with the Boeuf. The Boeuf increases like the resonance and the drive at the same time, so it can get pretty wild. Now let's hear this sound in context. If you want a little bit of extra credit, you can also apply some LFOs to different parameters to create subtle movements over time. Like for example, we can take LFO 1 and also put this on the wavetable position. I would just recommend decreasing this quite a bit so it's not too extreme, and then maybe take off the beats per minute, slow this LFO down a little bit, and hear how that sounds. That creates a slower movement over time across this wavetable position. And you can also add a noise generator as well. Enable it up here and maybe choose something like the Juno noise. And just like that, we've created a future disco bass sound with Serum.
Am I still streaming?
That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial about making a future disco bass sound using Serum. Don't forget you can download this preset below in the description, so head there. And if you want to know a little bit more about sound design with Serum, you can check out this video, which is all about designing future bass chords with a swung LFO using Serum. It's super cool, so check it out. Thanks so much. See you next time.